Hey there, this is TechDev. We've got awesome tutorials for you. Watch out now!
Hello guys, my name is Emmanuel and you're welcome to TechDev GH. TechDev GH is a YouTube channel that provides content on mobile application. Our content is based on Flutter, which is a cross-platform mobile application framework. Lately, Google has moved into web and desktop for Mac OS Linux and Windows, so you can use Flutter to build desktop applications for this platform, a website, and mobile applications for both Android and iOS. Today, what we're going to look into is a pinput package, and this is the first of many packages that we are going to work on. So we are going to create 4 videos on Flutter packages, and this is the first of many. Now, pinput, you realize that usually you build an application where you need to implement an OTP function. So you need to build small text boxes that the user would enter the OTP as a one-time password or code that will be sent to them via SMS. So today that's what we are going to look into, the OTP package. So you realize that I have added the pinput package to my project, and as of August 4th we are using the latest version, which is version 2.2.11. so we're not going to waste any much time. We'll move straight into our main. So in our main, you realize that I've cleared the entire code and then started afresh. So I've imported material that I've called the main function, as well as passed the run-up function, called the material app, giving it an app title, OTP app, and then the home is our OTP. So in our OTP stateless widget, we're going to have our body in our scaffold, and our body is going to be a column. Awesome. So in this app, we are going to build everything in a stateless widget. We are not going to work with a stateful widget. A stateful widget rebuilds the entire app over and over again, making it costly for us. I really do not like stateful widgets. Yeah. So in our column, we give it a children, and we're going to do something here. In our children, we're going to specify a spacer, 2 spaces, right? 2 spaces, so that to create a space above and beneath the pinput package, so that our pinput package will be centered, right? Good. Or better still, let's comment this out and see main axis alignment dot center for the column. Now in here, we're going to call our pinput package, our pinput widget. And though quite faint, realize that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes on our device now. 4 boxes centered for us on our device now. Now in the pinput, let's specify 2 things. So we're going to create a string which is a required OTP, which we are going to say is 2468, and also going to specify text editing controller, which will name OTP controller, and then initialize it, right? Awesome. So let's take this post off and take this guy off as well. Yeah. So in our pinput, we're going to add controller required OTP controller. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is, we realize that our text boxes are quite close to each other and then have all been moved to the left. So we can specify the axis alignment, main axis alignment. In this case, we'll consider our pin put as a row. So with the main axis alignment, it means the horizontal alignment of the text boxes. So we're going to see main axis alignment was spaced evenly, so that it will evenly space our box over our app. That's awesome. So the next thing we'll have to do is define the theme, how our boxes should look. Ideally, this is not how we would want our boxes to look like. So let's see if we can make some changes to it. So we're going to say set our default pin theme, and we'll pass in pin theme, right? Pin theme. And in our pin theme, what we're going to do is to set the width of our box to 50, let's make it 80.0, as well as the height of our box to 80.0, so that we'll get a square. And we're going to set the decoration of the box, how the box should look like. That's a box decoration. And in our box decoration, I'm going to say it should give a color, say colors.gray. Let's see. That's too gray. Let's see if we can set something white 12. That's not visible. White 60. So let's change the color of our scaffold. So the background color, let's say colors.teal. Let's see if teal is awesome. Yeah, teal looks awesome. So set our color, right? And let's give it a radius. So border radius dot circular, and say 20.0, right? Yeah, that is awesome. So let's add our trailing comments to format it. Awesome. So this is what we have now, but then you realize that our cursor is quite small. So when we enter a text, you get some small texts, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to specify how our input should look like. So how the cursor, the size of the cursor, you see that our texts are quite small. So what can we do? We can specify the text style. Whoa, is it text style? Yeah, it's a text style. Oh, we have to do that in our pin theme. Yeah, text style. So our text style is going to be, let's make it a constant because it's not going to change. So let's see, let's give it a color. So here, color, so colors.white. Let's see if that will look great. Not so great, but then let's increase the box. I'm going to increase the box. Sorry, let's increase the size of the text. So let's give it a 15, right? See if that will be okay. Not okay. 35. That's big enough. And font weight. So you should know that all these things are things I want to do. That's how I want to style my box. So as a developer, your UI designer is going to design a text box for you. It's going to design an interface for you. Look onto that interface and then you build it. Is that okay? Nice. So I think we're done with the how we want our default pin to look like, the pin area. So moving on, let's see. So usually this is how OTP interfaces look like. But usually we like to add separators between them. Some designers do so. So let's see how we can do that. So we are going to add a separator between the first 5 and the second 5, a separator between the second 5 and the third 5, then the final separator between the third 5 and the last 8. So we come down after our pin theme and specify the separator. The separator takes in a widget, so we are going to pass in a text widget. I'm going to make it constant because it won't change, right? So our text here, we can equally give it a style, say text style, and say the color should be white, the font size should be 50.0, then the font weight should be 500. Yeah, so let's see what we have. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, we have our separators now. Let's reduce the size of our pin. So let's make it 50 and a 50. Oh, that's quite small. 70 and a 70. That looks just alright. Let's make our radius 15. Awesome. So moving on, you realize that usually, though these separators are okay, but there are too many. So usually your designer might give you a design where there's only one separator. So there's no separator between the first 5 and the second 5. There's no separator between the third 5 and the last 8. But then there's a separator between the second 5 and the third 5. So what do? There's an option to put the separator positions. So in the separator positions, we can assume, or we can say as an array, because it's a list, right? So it being a list means it starts from index 0. So the first 5 is index 0, second index 1, third index 2, and fourth index 3. So when we put 2 into a separator position, the separator will only be added to our index 2, and our index 2 is this position, that between the second 5 and the third 5. Isn't that awesome? Great. So moving on, what else can we do? So moving on, let's say we have this design, but then we have to add a validator to check that whatever the user inputs should be equal to the OTP that our system or our server would provide, our backend service will provide. So after this separator, we can add a validator function that takes in the user's inputs and processes it. So in here we can check if the OTP the user enters is equal to our required OTP, which is what we've specified here, our required OTP, then we are going to do something. Else we'll return a string, which is an error that says OTP is invalid, comma, kindly try again, a full stop. Then we terminate it, right? So let's try it out before we work on the validation. So let's clear everything and enter just random numbers. Realize that it says OTP is invalid, kindly try again. So let's try to style it a little so that we see that, this is an error. So in here, after our default pin theme, we can specify our error pin theme. Isn't that great? Yep. So in our error pin theme, what we can do here is to specify, so we're going to match the width of our error pin theme with that of our default pin in. We're going to give it a text style, right? Text style. So we can copy the same thing here for our default and pass it down here. And we have to decorate the box as well so that we can see some error, some reddish error there. Yeah. So box decoration, right? So in our box decoration, what we're going to do is instead of okay, let's give it a color. Say colors.white, right? And then white 60, yeah, white 60, and we're going to give it a border, right? So a red border a red border around the white box. So we are going to give it a border.all, and we're going to, where is it? Yep, here it is. And let's make this text style a constant because it's not going to change. And in our border, we're going to see the color should be colors.red, right? So there's going to be a red border, and let's make the width of that border 2 so that it's a little thick for us. Let's add border radius just as our default text theme. So border radius that's circular, and make it 15.0. Awesome. Yeah. So now this is what we'll get when we have an error. So let us make our error text also a little big and more thicker. So same, we can specify our error text style and say text style, right? But make it constant because it's not going to change. Text style, and going to give it a font size of 20.0. I'm going to say that it should be a little weightier. So font weight be 500, and the color, most importantly, should be red. Awesome. Let's try red accent. Yeah, that's awesome. So OTP is invalid. Kindly try again. So we're going to clear everything. I tried error, but then when we enter write OTP, let's see, is our OTP? Yeah, we're still getting an error because when after checking the if clause, it still continues to run the error. So in our if clause, we return now, right? So let's try again. Clear everything, enter the wrong OTP. Error. Go back, clear everything, enter the right OTP. That's 2468. Oh, that's wrong. 2, 4, 6, and 8. So there's no error. Awesome. But then how does the user get to know that his input is correct in this type of application we're building? So let us try to give a scaffold messenger, right? Scaffold message to .show snackbar. So we're going to pass in the snackbar, and the content is going to be a text that says OTP is valid, right? Let's see if we can return this. Okay, return that. The OTP is invalid. So behavior, we want our scaffold We want our scaffold to be floating. So we want our snackbar message to be floating, right? And the color should be green, indicating success. Awesome. So let's try that again. 2, 4, 6, 8. So OTP is valid. Awesome. That's great. So we are almost up to finishing this application. So what else can we do? Great. So you realize that when the user enters the wrong OTP and goes back, he then has to delete everything before he or she can try again. Delete everything before you're able to try again. So let's try to do something where when the user taps the OTP, it clears everything automatically, and then the cursor moves to the first OTP box. So right before our validator, you can put it anywhere though. We'll use the untap function, right? And in our untap function, we are going to say the OTP controller should clear everything in it, right? So when we tap it, everything is cleared. We're able to enter. We tap, it is cleared. Okay, able to enter, tap, cleared, able to enter, tap, enter the right pin, and then good. Our OTP is successful. That is quite awesome, very awesome. And this took about 91 lines of code. Yeah. So if you are to build this in its own single class, in its own single file, taking out these lines. So this is a 2, a 4, a 6, and yeah. So that's 91 minus 6, and that gives us an 83. So we've built an entire OTP class with just 83 lines of code. That is very awesome. That is very, very awesome. Very awesome. So this is quite simple. This is quite straightforward. It's very easy to use, and it's so awesome. So moving on, I think when the OTP is valid, then you can add your navigator dot push. So you push to whatever screen you want to, and that's quite awesome. Very, very awesome. And here at TechDev GH, we are promising you we're going to bring you a lot more packages that will make your development process easy and simple for you. Watch out for this channel as we bring you more and more and more of these packages. Like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, share it with your workmates, and click that bell button so that whenever we post our next package, you're going to receive a notification. Bless you all.